Listen to me for a moment. There's something we all need to hear, something we need to feel deep in our bones. You're enough. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when you've ticked off some list of accomplishments, right now as you are. But believing that it takes work, it takes courage. We spend so much time doubting ourselves, don't we? Listening to that inner voice that whispers, you're not ready, you're not good enough. But let me tell you this, that voice, it's a liar. The truth is, you have everything you need inside of you. The strength, the talent, the wisdom, they're already there. Trust your abilities. Trust yourself. You don't need someone else to tell you that you matter. You don't need to fit into someone else's version of what success looks like. When you start living with the belief that you are complete just as you are, something amazing happens. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you. You stop settling for less than you deserve. And suddenly the right people, the right opportunities, they find you. But here's the catch: you've got to let go. Let go of the fear. Let go of the desperation for approval. Stop clinging to people who drain you or make you feel small. You're not here to play it safe or keep everyone else comfortable. You're here to grow, to transform, to become the person you're meant to be. You see, we've been sold this idea that being alone is something to fear. That if we're not constantly surrounded by people, something's wrong. But that's not true. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means freedom. It means you get to know yourself, what you truly want, what you truly need. Because your worth, it's not tied to anyone else, not their opinions, not their validation. You were worthy the moment you were born, and nothing can take that away. And yes, letting go is hard. It's scary. But staying in places or with people who don't serve you, that's harder. It drains you. It holds you back. But when you let go, when you step away from what's weighing you down, you create space. Space for peace. Space for joy. Space for self-realization. So here's my challenge to you: take a hard look at your life. What are you holding on to that's no longer serving you? Who are you keeping in your circle that's pulling you down? It's time to let go. And when you do, when you finally step into your own power, you'll find something incredible waiting for you: a life of peace, of purpose, of fulfillment. But it starts with one thing: believing in yourself. Are you ready to take that step? Let me ask you something. Whose life are you living? Is it yours or is it someone else's? Because for too many of us, the answer isn't what we'd like it to be. From the moment we're born, the world starts telling us who we should be. Parents, teachers, friends, society, they all have expectations. Get the right job. Look the right way. Follow the plan. But what happens when that plan isn't your own? What happens when the life you're living feels more like a checklist than a journey? Here's the truth: you don't owe anyone the life they expect from you. You don't have to live up to someone else's idea of success or happiness. This is your life, yours to shape, yours to build, and you have every right to live it on your own terms. But here's the hard part. To do that, you've got to let go. Let go of the fear of disappointing others. Let go of the need for approval. Let go of the habits, beliefs, and patterns that are holding you back. I know it's not easy. Change never is. We hold on to the familiar even when it's hurting us because it feels safe. But growth doesn't happen in safety. It happens in the discomfort. It happens in the moments when you step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's hard. But let me tell you something, it's worth it. Because every time you let go of what no longer serves you, you're making space. Space for peace. Space for joy. Space for a life that feels true to who you are. Life is long enough, my friends. Long enough to take risks. Long enough to make mistakes. Long enough to live fully, deeply, and authentically. But only if you stop living for others and start living for yourself. So take that step. Release the baggage. Walk away from the expectations that aren't yours. And watch as your life begins to transform. Because the life you deserve, it's waiting for you. All you have to do is claim it. Let's talk about something that's heavy, something we all carry around whether we realize it or not. Resentment, anger, guilt. These things weigh us down, keep us stuck in the past, and stop us from moving forward. But here's the thing, forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's not about saying what you did was okay, it's about setting yourself free. When you hold on to anger, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The only one who's hurting is you. The only one who's trapped is you. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you forget what happened. It doesn't mean you let them back into your life. It simply means you're choosing peace over pain. You're saying, I will no longer let this control me. I will no longer let this define me. That's the power of forgiveness. And it's not just about forgiving others. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. We all make mistakes. We've all done things we wish we could take back. But carrying guilt around forever, that's not helping anyone. Self-blame keeps you locked in a cycle of shame and regret. But guess what? You're human. You're allowed to fall. You're allowed to fail. What matters is that you learn. What matters is that you grow. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean you're excusing your mistakes. It means you're giving yourself permission to move forward, to stop living in the shadow of what you've done and start stepping into the light of what you can become. Forgiveness, whether it's for others or for yourself, isn't easy. It's a process. It takes time. But every step you take toward it is a step toward freedom, a step toward peace. So let go of the anger. Let go of the guilt. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve to be free. You deserve to move forward. You deserve to live a life that's no longer tied to the weight of the past. And when you finally let go, you'll realize something incredible. Forgiveness isn't just liberation, it's transformation. Let me tell you something about being alone. Society has this way of making us feel like being alone is a problem. Like it's something to fix. You hear it everywhere. You need someone to complete you. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you with someone? It's like the world decided that solitude equals loneliness. But let's set the record straight. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Not even close. Solitude is where you meet yourself. It's where you figure out who you are without the noise, without the expectations, without someone else's opinions clouding your view. When you're alone, you're free. Free to explore your thoughts, your dreams, your passions. Free to understand what really makes you happy, not what society tells you should make you happy, not what someone else thinks you need. Being alone is where you learn to rely on yourself, where you become your own anchor, your own source of strength. And let me tell you, there's power in that. Because when you know how to stand on your own, no one can take that away from you. But here's the challenge. Society's been selling this story that solitude is something to fear, that if you're alone, you're somehow incomplete. Let me ask you, who benefits from that narrative? Think about it. If you believe you need someone else to feel whole, you'll spend your life chasing relationships, chasing approval, chasing things outside yourself. You'll give away your power just to feel enough. But you don't need anyone to complete you. You're already complete. You've always been. When you embrace solitude, you start to see it for what it really is, a gift. It's the space where you grow, the time where you heal, the place where you find clarity and purpose. And here's the best part: when you stop fearing solitude, you stop settling. You stop settling for people who don't treat you right. You stop clinging to relationships that drain you, just so you won't be alone. When you learn to thrive in your own company, something amazing happens. You become selective. You choose people, experiences, and opportunities that align with who you really are, not out of desperation, but out of intention. So don't buy into the lie that being alone is a weakness. It's not. It's a strength. It's a reminder that you are enough as you are, that you have everything you need within you to create a life you love. Because here's the truth: solitude isn't something to escape from, it's something to embrace. It's where you become unstoppable. It's where you find yourself. And when you truly know yourself, there's nothing you can't face. Let's talk about relationships. And not just romantic ones, friendships, family, the people you choose to surround yourself with. Because here's the thing, the people in your life should be adding to it, not taking away from it. Too many of us hold on to relationships that drain us. We make excuses for them. Oh, they didn't mean it, they've been going through a lot, that's just how they are. But at some point you have to ask yourself, is this person adding to my life, or are they taking from it? Let me be clear, relationships aren't about perfection. No one is perfect and no one's asking for that. But respect, value, support, those are non-negotiable. You see, when you set standards for the people in your life, you're not being unreasonable. You're not being selfish. You're saying, I value myself enough to choose people who see my worth, and yes, that means letting go of the ones who don't. It's hard, I know, it's uncomfortable. There's guilt, there's fear of being alone, fear of being judged. But let me tell you this, holding on to people who don't respect you, who don't value you, is far lonelier than being by yourself. When you prioritize self-respect, something incredible happens. You stop chasing after approval and you start attracting the right people. The ones who truly see you, the ones who lift you up instead of pulling you down. But here's the catch, it takes courage to set boundaries. It takes strength to say, this is what I deserve, and I won't settle for less, and it takes patience to wait for the right people to come into your life. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty for saying no, for stepping back, for putting yourself first. But that guilt, it's a sign that you're growing, that you're breaking old patterns, that you're choosing yourself for once. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out, they're guidelines to show people how to treat you. They're an act of self-love. And when you start setting them, something amazing happens. The wrong people fall away, and the right ones show up. So I want you to ask yourself, what kind of people do I want in my life? What kind of energy do I want to surround myself with? Because you have the power to choose. You deserve relationships that bring you peace, not chaos. That make you feel seen, not invisible. That add to your happiness, not take away from it. And the only way to create that kind of life is to start setting standards. Remember this, you are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You are simply asking for what you deserve. And the moment you start believing that, the moment you start living like that, is the moment your life will begin to change. So set your standards high, keep your boundaries strong, and never, ever settle for less than you deserve. Letting go, it sounds simple, right? But anyone who's tried knows it's anything. Letting go is messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's not something you just decide to do one day and wake up the next feeling free. But here's the truth, letting go is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. It's the key to growth, to peace, to stepping into the life you're meant to live. The first challenge, resistance. Oh, it's there inside you and all around you. Internally, your mind clings to the familiar. What if I'm making a mistake? What if I regret this? And then there's the external resistance, the people who don't understand, who question you, who say you've changed. Let me tell you something, they're right. You have changed. That's the point. Growth is about change. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. And yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But staying stuck is far worse. You see, not everyone is going to get it. Some people will misunderstand your decisions. Some will judge you. But here's the thing, their understanding is not required for your growth. You don't need their approval to move forward. Letting go is about trusting the process. It's about believing that what's ahead is better than what you're leaving behind, even if you can't see it yet. Patience is key, because letting go doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Some days you'll feel strong, like you've turned a corner. Other days you'll feel like you're right back where you started. And that's okay. Progress isn't linear, but you have to keep going. You have to trust that by creating space in your life, by letting go of what no longer serves you, you're making room for what's meant for you. And here's the magic: when you let go, you create room for the right opportunities and the right people to come into your life. But they can't show up if you're holding onto the wrong ones. It's like trying to carry a heavy bag of rocks while climbing a mountain. You can't reach the top if you're weighed down. At some point, you have to decide to put the bag down. You have to decide to let go. So how do you do it? Start by accepting that it's a process. There's no shortcut, no quick fix. It's a day-by-day journey of choosing to release, choosing to trust, and choosing to believe in yourself. And when the doubts creep in, because they will remind yourself why you're letting go in the first place. For peace, for freedom, for the life you deserve. Letting go is not about forgetting or pretending it never happened. It's about acknowledging what was, learning from it, and then moving forward without carrying the weight of it. So, give yourself grace, be patient with yourself, and trust the journey. Because when you let go of what's holding you back, you make space for what's meant for you. And I promise you, what's coming is worth every ounce of courage it took to let go. Let me ask you something right now. What's holding you back? What's keeping you from stepping into the life you deserve? Is it fear? Is it a toxic relationship? Is it the stories you've been telling yourself about what you cannot do? Whatever it is, this is your moment. Your moment to decide that enough is enough. Let it go. Release it. You have something more valuable than anything money can buy: your energy, your peace, your time. These are not things to give away freely to people or situations that don't honor them. Protect your energy like it's the rarest treasure in the world, because it is. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Now is the time to stand tall in your truth, to stop dimming your light to fit into places or with people who can't see your brilliance. You don't need permission to be great, you already are. You don't need anyone to complete you, you're already whole. So rise. Rise by letting go of the burdens that weigh you down. Rise by choosing yourself, your peace, and your happiness. The world doesn't get to decide your worth, you do. And I'm here to remind you that you are worthy of everything good, everything beautiful, and everything powerful. Go out there and live your life fully, unapologetically, and fearlessly. The best is yet to come, and it's waiting for you.